Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Flow podcast. I'm so happy you're here with us today.
Hey there. Quick question before we start. Right now, while you're listening to this, what language are you actually thinking in?
Be honest. You're listening in English, but is your mind also working in English, or are you translating everything first?
For most learners, the answer is translating. You hear English, your brain switches to your native language, and then it switches back before you speak.
That's exactly why speaking can feel slow and stressful, even when you actually know the words.
So today, we're going to fix that. Not with more grammar rules or a giant vocabulary list, but with just 50 simple sentences.
By the end of this episode, you'll understand why 50 short, everyday sentences can change the way your mind works in English.
And we'll show you exactly how to start using them today, in real moments, not just in a classroom.
Here's a question for you. What's one thought you had in your own language today that you wish had come out in English instead? Tell us in the comments.
We really want to know because it helps us understand exactly where you are on this journey.
And if this episode helps you, please like this video and subscribe to English Flow Podcast so you don't miss what comes next.
Honestly, this topic changed the way I think about learning English entirely. It's not about knowing more words. It's about where those words actually live in your mind.
Exactly. Most learners spend years collecting vocabulary, but they never practice the quiet, private conversation happening inside their own head.
And that quiet conversation happens all day long, whether you're studying or not. So why not make it work for you?
All right, let's talk about why your own thoughts are actually the easiest place to start thinking in English. Here's something most learners never realize. Most of your daily thoughts are actually very simple.
You don't think in long, complicated sentences all day long. You think in short ideas like, I need to go, or I don't know, or this is good.
These same kinds of thoughts repeat every single day, only the small details change.
And that means learning to think in English doesn't require learning everything. You just need a small set of patterns you can reuse constantly.
That's exactly why we picked 50 sentences, not 99, and not just 10 either.
99 is simply too many to actually master. You end up reading them once and forgetting most of them.
50 is different. It's small enough to truly memorize, but large enough to cover the situations you face every day.
We've organized these 50 sentences into groups, and today we'll walk through the two most important ones to get you started.
The first group is morning sentences, the very first thoughts you have after you wake up.
Simple lines like, I slept well, I have a lot to do today, or I still feel tired.
We start here for a reason. The first thoughts in your mind often set the tone for how you'll think for the rest of the day.
If your day starts in your native language, your brain usually keeps going that way. But one English sentence in the morning can shift that pattern.
Try this tomorrow. When your alarm rings, before you even get out of bed, think one simple sentence in English.
You could say, today is a new day, or I want to do my best today. It doesn't need to be clever, just simple and repeated.
Now let's move to the second group, decision-making sentences, the small choices you make constantly throughout your day.
Thoughts like, should I do this now or later? Or, I think this is the better choice. Or, let me think about it for a moment.
You already think these thoughts dozens of times a day, just in your native language. That's actually great news for you as a learner.
It means you already have built-in practice moments. You don't need to create extra time to study. Your normal decisions become the practice.
Try this the next time you choose what to eat or what to wear. Stop for a second and think it in English instead.
For example, I think I'll wear the blue shirt, or maybe I should leave the jacket today. Small decision, real practice.
Here's why this works so well. You already make dozens of tiny decisions every day, so you never have to search for a moment to practice.
Breakfast, clothes, your route to work, what to answer first, each one is a free practice opportunity that's already built into your schedule.
This is such a different approach compared to memorizing conversations you might use once a year, like ordering a hotel room or booking a flight.
Right, those conversations matter too, but decision sentences give you practice 5, 10, maybe 20 times before lunch.
So, to quickly summarize, morning sentences shift how your day begins, and decision sentences turn your daily choices into constant English practice.
Now let's move to something even more personal. The sentences you use to talk to yourself and the ones you use to describe the world around you.
This connects directly to what we just learned, because it's still about your private, everyday thoughts, just in new situations.
The fourth group is self-talk and encouragement sentences, the words you say to yourself when things get hard or when you make a mistake.
Simple lines like, "It's okay, I'll try again," or "This is difficult, but I can do it," or "I'm getting better every day."
When life gets hard, most people fall back into their native language because it feels more comfortable in that moment.
But when you learn to encourage yourself in English, something shifts. English stops being just a subject and starts being something you actually lean on.
Try this for a tip. Pick one sentence from this group and use it the next time something small goes wrong in your day.
For example, if you make a mistake at work, try thinking, "That's okay, I'll figure this out," instead of switching to your native language.
Let's compare that with a less useful habit. Saying, "I'm so bad at this" in your own language just repeats the frustration without building anything.
Reframing it in simple English, like "I'm still learning," does two things at once. It builds your English, and it builds a kinder inner voice.
The fourth group is observation sentences, the ones you use to describe what's happening around you right now.
Sentences like, "It's raining outside," or "This place is crowded," or "This is taking longer than I expected."
You can use these anywhere, anytime. You don't need a teacher, a classroom, or even another person nearby.
A bus drives past you. A child starts laughing. Someone's on the phone nearby. Each moment is a tiny chance to think a sentence in English.
Here's a quick practice activity. Look around you right now and silently describe one thing you see using a simple English sentence.
First tip, keep it short. Second tip, don't worry about perfect grammar. Third tip, repeat it a few times so it sticks.
We'd love for you to try this out loud right now and then write your sentence in the comments below.
One more thing about observation sentences. You can also use them to compare things, which makes your thinking a little richer.
For example, "This coffee is better than yesterday's," or "It's colder today than it was this morning." Small comparisons, still very natural.
These aren't complicated grammar structures. They're the kind of thoughts you already have constantly, just now practiced in English instead of your native language.
So, to review, self-talk sentences help you stay steady when things get hard, and observation sentences turn ordinary moments into constant practice.
Now, let's cover the last three groups together: memory sentences, planning sentences, and identity sentences.
This is where thinking in English starts covering your whole day, your past, your future, and how you see yourself.
Memory sentences are simple thoughts about things that already happened. That was a good day. I forgot to do that. Yesterday was difficult.
Try this tonight before you sleep. Spend 1 minute thinking about your day using 2 or 3 simple English sentences.
You could think, I woke up late, I talked to my friend, or today was a good day. Grammar doesn't need to be perfect here.
Planning sentences work the same way, but they look forward instead. I need to finish this first. I will call them later. Tomorrow, I should wake up early.
Here's a tip for making this natural. Every evening, before bed, think 3 short sentences about tomorrow, all in English.
Something like, tomorrow I will wake up early. I need to finish my work. I hope everything goes well. It takes less than a minute.
And finally, identity sentences, the thoughts you have about the person you're becoming. I'm still learning, and that's okay. I'm getting better every day. This one might be the most powerful group of all because the way you talk to yourself quietly shapes how you see yourself right now. When you make a mistake, instead of thinking something harsh, try switching it to something honest and kind in simple English. So let's review this whole section. Memory sentences connect you to your past, planning sentences shape your future, identity sentences shape how you see yourself right now. Here's a small tip that ties all three together. Try using one sentence from each group in the same evening right before bed. One memory sentence about your day, one planning sentence about tomorrow, and one identity sentence about how you're growing. That's 3 sentences, maybe 2 minutes total. It sounds small, but doing this consistently is what actually builds the habit, not one long study session every few weeks. Together with morning, decision, self-talk, and observation sentences, that's all 6 groups working together every single day. Now, let's talk about the mistakes most learners make when they try to build this habit. We've made these mistakes ourselves, so don't worry, this is completely normal. Mistake number 1, trying to learn too many sentences at once. Incorrect approach, memorizing a huge list in one sitting. Correct approach, 3 sentences a day used in real life. Why does this matter? Because your brain doesn't build habits from information, it builds habits from repetition in real situations. Mistake number 2, expecting your thoughts to be perfect immediately. Incorrect belief, if I make grammar mistakes in my head, I'm doing it wrong. Correct belief, thinking in English will feel strange and rough at first, and that's a completely normal part of building a new habit. Mistake number 3, only practicing in the classroom or during a lesson. Incorrect habit, thinking in English only when you're studying. Correct habit, practicing while making coffee or walking to work or lying in bed before sleep, the quiet moments no one else sees. Mistake number 4, giving up as soon as it feels awkward. Many learners try it once, feel strange, and decide it doesn't work for them. Here's a better alternative. Notice the awkward feeling, accept it as normal, and gently bring your thoughts back to English again. Mistake number 5, forgetting to use the sentences in real situations and only reading them silently without ever speaking or thinking them actively. The fix is simple. Say each sentence out loud a few times, then look for a real moment in your day to actually use it. We really want you to know feeling strange at first doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means your brain is building something new. Here's one more mistake. Mistake number 6, comparing yourself to fluent speakers and feeling discouraged because your thoughts aren't as smooth as theirs yet. A fluent speaker also started with rough, simple sentences at some point. Nobody skips that stage, no matter how confident they sound today.
A more useful comparison is your own progress last month versus today, not someone else's 20 years of practice.
So, remember these 6 points. Don't overload yourself. Don't expect perfection. Practice outside the classroom. Don't quit when it feels odd. Actually use each sentence in real life. And measure your own progress, not someone else's fluency. Now, let's move into some interactive practice together. This activity is called Choose the More Useful Thought. We'll give you 2 options, and you decide which one builds the habit better. Situation 1. A. Silently reading 50 sentences once. B. Thinking 3 sentences out loud every day for a week. Which one builds the habit? If you said B, you're exactly right. Repetition in small amounts always beats one big read-through. Situation 2. A. Waiting until you feel confident to start thinking in English. B. Starting today, even though it feels a little strange. The better choice is B. Situation 3. A. Only practicing during your English lesson. B. Practicing while making coffee or walking to work. The better choice is B. Situation 4. A. Giving up after one awkward attempt. B. Gently returning your thoughts to English each time they slip back. The better choice is B. Situation 5. A. Memorizing a sentence without ever using it. B. Saying it out loud, then using it in a real moment that day. The better choice is B. Situation 6. A. Comparing your thoughts to a fluent speaker and feeling discouraged. B. Comparing your thoughts today to your thoughts last month. The better choice is B. Great job if you chose correctly each time. And if you didn't, that's completely fine too. This is exactly how the habit gets built.
Now, here's your real challenge. For the next 10 minutes after this episode ends, think about everything you're doing in English.
You could think, I am walking to the kitchen, I am opening the fridge, or I don't know what to eat. Nothing fancy, just simple and present.
Remember, real thinking in English is always more valuable than a perfect memorized sentence you never actually use.
At first, your mind might slip back into your native language halfway through. That's completely normal, and it doesn't mean the challenge failed.
Just gently bring your thoughts back to English and keep going. Every time you do that, you're strengthening the habit a little more.
Think of it like a small workout for your brain. You wouldn't expect to lift the heaviest weight on your first day at the gym.
The same is true here. A few honest minutes of simple thinking today are worth more than a perfect performance you're too nervous to attempt.
Wow, what an episode! Let's quickly review everything we covered today.
We learned that 50 simple sentences organized into small groups are enough to start thinking in English in real everyday moments.
We covered morning sentences, decision sentences, self-talk sentences, observation sentences, memory sentences, planning sentences, and identity sentences.
And we talked about the biggest mistakes to avoid: overloading yourself, expecting perfection, and giving up too soon.
You should be really proud of yourself for making it through this whole episode. That's genuine progress toward thinking in English.
So here's a question to think about. Which one of these 50 sentences will you use for the first time today?
Maybe it's a simple morning sentence tomorrow, or maybe it's one small observation you make right after this video ends.
Whatever it is, please like this video, share it with someone who's learning English, and subscribe to English Flow Podcast so you don't miss our next episode.
These 50 sentences aren't the end of your learning. They're the strong, simple foundation everything else gets built on. Once they feel natural, new words and new sentences will attach to them easily because you'll already be thinking in English, not just studying it. That's the real difference between someone who knows a lot of English and someone who actually thinks in it. Keep practicing, keep thinking in English in small, quiet moments, and remember, one simple sentence repeated daily is more powerful than 100 you never use. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We really appreciate you. See you next time.